Welcome everybody. So this is the community call, and again, we already talked about this one before we started recording, and also within our public messaging. This one was a bit of a special community call, but we didn't want to cancel because canceling weekly things is always bad. It's always better to actually have an active discussion with the community. So even though we were overlapping with Microsoft Ignite keynote, we wanted to check on that one partly, and then recapping all of the great news which were actually happening there. Now, Ignite keynote altogether is 2.5 hours, or now it's actually 2 hours and 40 minutes already because it goes a bit long, and we needed to now restart or start the recapping in here. So you can always go to ignite.microsoft.com. You can access the recording from there already today, at least the keynote, and there's a lot of other events and things happening there as well. Now, however, we kind of understand that people have a short time on kind of, you want to have, what was actually the latest, what was the announcements, what are the key announcements within the areas which typically go through within the community call, which means Power Platform, Copilot Studio, Microsoft 365 Teams, and all of that. So I'm going to run through a lot of slides for 20 slides within 20 minutes or so, and we're going to share some links in the chat, and David is going to help a bit on that one as well, and then we can always come back next week. And also ignite.microsoft.com registration is free. There's no cost on that one, so you can actually double check any of the areas which were more interesting. So if you want to go back and say, hey, wait a minute, that was super cool, I want to have a closer look on that one, you can definitely do that in Ignite. And last said, there's a lot of blog posts which are getting released today. We'll share a lot of those links in the chat as well, as a collective link of things. Now, key news and key recaps on what has happened or what was announced. Let me actually shuffle things a bit because this is better for me. So let's start going through. So these are actually from the live keynotes 2 hours ago when Satya started the keynote. Nothing, dramatical. Obviously, AI Copilot, key focus area. We are really pushing the boundaries of AI and Copilot and pushing the capabilities and features there. So that's something what you've probably seen already within the Microsoft messaging, and it's coming in all of the different products, all of the different services. And yes, Elliot, a lot of lingo words probably coming through now. I will cover some of these slides a bit more detailed within upcoming minutes or within upcoming slides. But one thing to notice here, I didn't have a slide on this one. We are heading to a direction where we're going to even change the Microsoft 365 app logo, and that's going to be a combination of that Copilot logo with the text of Microsoft 365. It might be a bit confusing. I can already see some reactions on it in social media, but that will be the new logo of Microsoft 365 in good and worse. What it actually means is that we're really pushing, again, the work on top of and the human approaches in the Microsoft 365 through the Copilot and AI, and that's also now being reflected with the Copilot logo being the M365 logo. Now, not going to go too much on there, but key points from the announcement. So Copilot is the new UI, is really the UI of AI, and we're going to keep on introducing more and more capabilities in the Copilot, and not just chat. And that's also a really important thing to realize here. So the Copilot is the way for people to access information and do operations, not just chat, also UX elements. So you're able to access UX elements through the Copilot. Copilot might be integrated in a way behind the buttons at some point, so you don't actually realize that it's Copilot, but it's an AI-powered functionality, AI-powered UX, which is actually doing the operation. Copilot Studio is the de facto way of extending that, native extensibility in Copilot Studio. And then there are out-of-the-box agents, and then you can build your custom agents. So if you are connecting to your line of business systems, or you have relevant data within your company which you want to connect to the under AI with all of the security and all of the reliance which we provide on this one, you can do that with a custom agent. Or you can take advantage of out-of-the-box agents, which are available within Microsoft 365. So that's one way of approaching this. It's all under the Copilot control system, under security, all of that compliancy, and all of the usage details, everything else is getting tracked properly as well. Now, what it then means is that we have this kind of a combination of Copilot, which is the human augmentation. That's a buzzword for sure. But it's really your private personal assistant. So whatever you're asking it to do, nobody else can actually access that information. Microsoft doesn't know how you're using really the Copilot because we don't access your personal information. Even our admin people don't have access on any of the logs and details in the personal level. And that's the compliance level what we're providing on top of the AI. And it's really about people and copilots is one-to-one. So there's a one copilot, but then you extend, or the copilot gives you access on agents. One copilot, but then the agents are the individual operations. And through the copilot, you can access the individual agents. They can be autonomous. They can do automated tasks or processes. They can do simple things as well. So they don't have to be, rocket science and do complicated things either. And Copilot Studio is the way of create and configure custom agents within your environment. Now, let's actually move in, talk a bit about those agents. So there was quite a few actually interesting announcements on the agents. They were covered in the keynote quite a few times by Satya and also Charles. Charles really focused on talking about pre-built agents, and he talked about actually the interpreter agent. My pronunciation of that one is not perfect, sorry for that. Somehow magically that's a difficult word for Finn. Anyway, so he talked about that one a bit. SharePoint agents were actually shown a bit before, facilitator agent a bit before. But what I wanted to do here, because agent is a big important thing to understand, I wanted to talk a bit about what they are, and then show one or two videos related on what they are and how they are actually behaving. And again, we provide some out-of-the-box agents, and then you are able to build your custom agents using Copilot Studio or Pro Development Story as well. So there's multiple different opportunities here. Agents in SharePoint is the easiest way to create your agents. So you can create your agent against the SharePoint. Well, every single SharePoint site is already an agent. Then on top of that, you're able to, for example, upload relevant documents to your OneDrive or for SharePoint and then create additional agents. So you can think about something like, hey, we have ISO 900, whatever, 9000, whatever files somewhere stored. Let's upload them to the SharePoint and let's create an agent out of it. And all of a sudden you have an ISO specialist helping you within your work. And just by clicking a few times in the buttons, you're able to take advantage of that agent created by SharePoint against those relevant business information. And that's really, really cool scenario for agents in SharePoint. Employee Service Agent, we're going to show see a quick demo on that one in a second. We'll definitely go too long today. Facilitator, we'll talk about that one. We'll talk about that one. Project management as well. These are all coming in a different sequencing, going live, and you can see a lot of more details on that URL, which is actually shared in the slide as well. So AKMS Ignite 2024 M365 blog. We'll link and share a lot of the links definitely in the chat as we move along within this journey, and also in the recording in the notes of the video. Now, quickly on the SharePoint agent. Small video on that one. A lot of kind of a fast stuff over there. Hopefully the audio came through properly. But basic idea here is that you can create really super easily agents based on the content. You can select a folder, files, multiple files, or individual sites, which are actually agents on helping you on the information. Super easy to create. super easy to share, which is a super important thing to realize as well. So if you're having a discussion with somebody within a chat, you can actually request the agent to join and ask questions from the agent. So you're basically using your chat, and among the chat with your colleague, or even in audio in the future, you're able to have a discussion with the agent, and it will return you the information what you're requesting on. So again, let's think about, if you think about product maintenance, product creation, let's say building of houses, apartments, all of maintenance, there are rules, there's laws, there are things to consider. You can think about all of those to be individual agents, and you want to have the specialist from where you want to ask the information, and you can actually pinpoint to that agent which is only grounded on those files which are relevant for that law or for that thing what you're going to actually do. So it doesn't actually start rambling about something which it found from internet. It's only saying information relevant within those files, within those laws. And that's really, really cool capability. So that will actually make sure that you are able to access that easily, not only within SharePoint, but also within the sites, within Teams, within any chat, technically, within Copilot. And you are able to extend that even. So if you like the basic setup, you're able to then bring it on to the Copilot Studio. You're able to start modifying that one over there as well. One thing to notice that it's a one-way thing to move it in the Copilot Studio. You're no longer able to go back on the simplified version of the agent. And they're secure. So they have the existing SharePoint security options and capabilities available. So really, really cool capability. Now, I know that I'm going to rush on a lot of the slides. I do apologize, but there's a lot of stuff what we want to go through. Now, Facilitator is actually really interesting. So this one is something what we're testing already internally, obviously. We're always testing everything what we're going through and shipping for customers in a good and a bad way. So every now and then we find nice bugs on those as well, which is great. But Facilitator is something which is collecting in a meeting. It is all the time collecting information and also writing summaries as the meeting goes on. So it's not a post-meeting thing, it's an ongoing meeting thing. And it also does things like, hey, by the way, there's a half of the meeting is still left, and these are the notes which are collected now. You haven't covered this item yet on the agenda or something like that. So it's actually helping you to be more efficient within the meetings. It does require some level of getting used to that there is this kind of a anonymous bot or facilitator agent, which is kind of a jumping into the chat and saying, hey, by the way, you only have 15 minutes. First time when I saw it, at least personally, I was like, oh, what is this? Who is telling me this message from the chat? But it is actually pretty nice to have when I get used to it. Now, interpreter. Wow, pronunciation for Finn is hard for this one. But basically, this is really cool. So it enables real-time speech-to-speech translation. So you can basically listen to the person to talk within your language, within the same tone, within that sounds like the person, but it's actually talking on the other people's language. So if you think about the classic terms, bubble fish, that's what this is in a certain level. Obviously, it's not going to support all of the different languages in the world by default, and gradually more and more languages will be available, but it's getting to public preview early next year. There was a nice demo, a quick video there's in the blog posts where we mention all of this news, so want to have a look on that one to understand how it actually works. Employee search service is really around kind of a understanding, hopefully it has a Finnish accent. Thank you, Jim, for asking that. Now, Finnish accent. Employee self-service is really about the fact that you want to ask something like HR or IT information, and then the agent is able to help with that. Obviously, that's grounded with the information which is relevant for your company, and you're able to make it then relevant for that. And then you can have, for example, parental leave request, all of that stuff directly within the self-service agent. Makes kind of a sense. The typical employee self-service requirements are quite classic. Those scenarios are something which
we are also reimagining the employee experience
repeatable
for HR and IT processes with the new employee self-service agent in Microsoft 365 Copilot. This agent comes pre-pinned right in Copilot chat and creates a streamlined experience to help employees get real-time answers to top policy questions, and even simplifies tasks for employee services. The self-service agent is connected to your organization's knowledge sources from SharePoint or Teams and personalized data from HR and IT systems of record. With Copilot for All, you can easily make the employee self-service agent available to your entire organization.
Yay! That's the employee self-service. Kind of an intro on how it actually works. And again, more details and all of that available in Ignite documentation videos. We will cover a lot of the stuff in the future community calls. Copilot Studio, a lot of new enhancements over there as well. Copilot Studio will enable image uploading, so it's able to detect what the image is actually all about. Voice-enabled agents, really cool demo in the keynote as well by can't remember the person names. Wow. Now I'm actually missing on that one, but it's actually really cool. So you can actually embed voice experiences directly within an app with Copilot Studio, and advanced knowledge tuning Copilot Studio, a bit more detailed on that one. Blog post reference over there. I will pasting a set of links again on the, I will actually do that right away. It's just easier. There's a massive set of links for, thank you, David. So you're listening what I'm saying. That's my team Copilot. David,
I'm your Copilot today. Yeah.
Thank you. Now, Copilot Agent Actions is also a really cool new feature. I think this is the last quick video demo which we have today. If I remember, if it has a audio on it, let's see. Click here.
Copilot Actions can be accessed directly in the Microsoft 365 app. You can create new ones from scratch, or if you're looking for inspiration, discover from a series of pre-built templates designed to help you catch up on things you've missed, gather information from colleagues, or simply to create content. Let's say you need to create an aggregated weekly status email. Chasing various stakeholders to provide their updates is very time-consuming, but now Copilot Actions can do all the work for you. The templates are extremely intuitive. Just select the parameters you need, add the context, and choose how often it should run. You then preview it, make any final tweaks, and your action is ready to go. Copilot will then reach out to your colleagues on your behalf, asking for those status updates. It even follows up with anyone who didn't respond. Copilot then generates a consolidated email ready for you to edit and send out. With just a few clicks, you just offloaded a time-consuming weekly process to Copilot. You will also be able to manage all your AI automations in a single pane of glass. You can easily control, edit, stop, or add new actions directly from here.
Cool. That's kind of a really, really cool. And I think this is a great example where the Copilot is starting to show the Copilot stuff and being an independent agent. So basically behind the scenes on behalf of you operating, doing things, not hiding anything, you control all of the things what it's actually doing, but you're able to use it as a scheduled task operator really easily. And again, that's obviously the difference. You can do Power Automate, you can do logic apps, all of that stuff, but that gets complicated. So you're just doing something like this from an end user perspective is super, super easy to do. And they can then repeat or get rid of the repeatable work, hopefully, which they need to do on a daily basis. Now, we're also introducing improvements in the Copilot and BizChat pages. So we're able to have rich artifacts like images and charts and all of that over there, which will improve then the collaboration directly in the BizChat pages. I think that's the right term. Microsoft Places is going G8, a really cool capability talking about where people are, the offices, all of that stuff. You're able to check in the offices more and more really cool capability for sure for people who have a lot of offices within the world. Maybe even one office is enough. And talking about the buildings and rooms and all of that directly within there. Copilot in Teams does file summaries in one-to-one and group chats. It's able to translate the intelligent the summaries directly within any language, and it's able to also capture screen sharing information. So as you're sharing a screen to somebody within a recorded video, it's able to understand what is actually within the screen, and it's able to use that within the summary. So you can imagine that in a Teams meeting summary, it will say Seth showed blah 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 blah, and these are the kind of images which were actually present in the meeting or presented in the meeting summary. Really, really cool capabilities as well. New Teams experiences is actually already rolling out. I think 2 weeks ago we were saying that this is coming, but it's kind of bundled in the Ignite announcements as well. That should be rolling out right now, depending on where in the world your tenant is. I love this it takes a while to get used to, but I really like the new experience for sure. Something which is also updated and changed, the SharePoint Advanced Management is now part of the Copilot. So as you start using the Copilot, you can start also using the SharePoint Advanced Management features to actually get access on capabilities and insights on the content what you have within your tenant. So which helps to manage the information which is getting used by the Copilot and how people are accessing the information. A lot of great capabilities in here as well. Now I'm watching the time. I will go a few minutes long, but I will have to speed up a bit. On the Viva Connection, a lot of cool stuff here as well. Rolling out new experiences, optimized experiences for frontline workers. There's a new team news reader capability. So the feed went away, but we're introducing a centralized, personalized, focused news experience in the Viva Connection with some Copilot-powered news summaries, so you can quickly catch up on what has happened and what are the new capabilities which are available. And there's also adaptive card extensions in Copilot experiences. So if you have talking about something which you have a card within the Viva Connection dashboard, you will actually see the card directly within the mChat or within the Copilot chat, and you're able to then start operating whatever the card is doing directly within there. It's super cool because it simplifies again the integration with Copilot. And this, by the way, enables cool additional developer scenarios for developers as well. Now, as said, I will go a bit long. I do apologize if you need to drop. We will publish the recording later. Now, quickly recapping other stuff, we talked about there was a lot of new announcements on Azure AI Foundry. Was actually really cool. If you go to the pro developer key stuff, if you are in Dynamics, there was 10 new pre-built agents in Dynamics 365 side, Copilot control systems for actually knowing what's happening, metrics, all of that stuff as well. There was a lot of other things as well, Copilot Analytics, some metrics related on how Copilot is being used in Microsoft, and a lot of obviously Windows and announcements and all of that, which are a bit off the topic of this call, so we're not going to go through detailed on them. I do want to call out that we are also talking about the Copilot does love developers. So there's a lot of different opportunities for developers with Copilot as well. So we're able to build on the Copilot engine. So when it actually means that you are extending the Microsoft 365 Copilot, or you build your own custom engine. So if you don't like the large language model within the Microsoft 365 Copilot, you want to bring your own, you want to target something else, you can definitely do that with Azure AI Foundry. Foundry, I guess that's the right term. We will also, I don't think this was actually announced in the keynote. We'll also did announce this already in a public blog post. Microsoft 365 Agents SDK is out, which is going to help on building enterprise-grade scalable multi-channel agents. This is really when you build your own custom agent and offer that available. If you're into developer side, github.com, Microsoft Agents is the location where all of the documentation, I think code will be located in here as well. Not sure if it's already there, depending on how the rollouts are now happening today. And on the Microsoft Agent Framework, a lot of new capabilities, opportunities here as well, together with Copilot Studio. Semantic kernel is still definitely relevant. Knowledge and actions are in the files, which we're combining with our custom agents, and then we're surfacing those in the Microsoft Teams or Microsoft 365 or some other system. But a lot of great storytelling and opportunities, not just storytelling, but opportunities for developers to build these things as well. But that's a super fast, quick recap on what was kind of a key announcements in Ignite within the keynote, or what we have gathered from the what we knew what is going to actually be shared today as part of the blog post. More details, you can go to the ignite.microsoft.com or AKMS Ignite Book of News should work. That was the AKMS address which was used last time. I think it's now updated properly. I haven't double checked that URL, but it has basically the Book of News, which is full list of everything what was announced within Ignite 2024. Now, next week, we are moving back on a normal agenda on this community call. So we will have three different demos. John Miller is back with introducing Microsoft Teams Toolkit for VS Code, so Visual Studio Code version, and starting using that one. Paolo Pialoris is talking about single sign-on on Viva Connection bot-powered ACEs created with .NET Framework. And then Eric Scherlinger is going to talk about building a writing coach declarative agent for Microsoft 365 Copilot. Super cool capabilities, and really show showing again what we can do with the agents, which we were really pushing and are pushing this week within Ignite as well. So you don't want to miss the next Tuesday, 26th of November on that one. In the meanwhile, let's stay in touch. A lot of great community engagement happening in Discord and many other locations as well. But if you are in Discord, you want to check out this one as well. We definitely are interested always on feedback on this calls. Today was a bit of a special setup, so this one's really out of the typical agenda and execution style what we do. But again, we didn't want to overlap with the Ignite keynote because that's just silly. But we didn't want to cancel, so this one was then the chosen path how we're going to do that. The recording of this one, I'm talking really fast, I understand, but the recording of this one will be available within 24 hours at Microsoft Community Learning YouTube channel. You want to subscribe there. And again, social media, we will share when the updates are out. 26th of November, next call. And you want to check out all of the community calls at AKMS Community Calls. But that's a really quick summary on what was announced. I do apologize that the keynote went a bit long today. And then that meant that we needed a bit rush on the announcements. I will paste in one more time all of the links. There we go in the chat. You can have a look on all of the different announcements, all of the different things. Microsoft 365 Power Platform, Copilot Studio. There's a link for all of that stuff within the chat right now. So have fun catching up on what has been announced and what are the details on that. And for a lot of that stuff, we will have community call demos within upcoming months. So looking forward on that. Excellent. That's it for this one. Thank you, everybody. Have a great rest of the week. Super excited to see what was announced in Ignite. Super excited to see what you will be using about them and what are you building on them as well. And let's stay in touch. If there's anything I can help, let me know. Cheers. Bye-bye.